everyone, it's been over 2 minutes, and unlike law firms, I haven't been raped yet. Hi, I'm Diana Davison, an advocate for the falsely accused and wrongfully convicted. Now, I've been working on a couple of stories. I'm always working on a few stories because I've got so many cases. But I've actually been in contact with some lawyers who themselves are being falsely accused. And this is fabulous. Just recently, in the last couple of days, a case took place in the news where a woman, a lawyer at a law firm, alleged that she was being sexually abused or manipulated in a law firm. And when they accessed her emails, they found out that she had written like sort of diary notes to self in which she talked herself through how she was going to emotionally manipulate this partner in the law firm in order to advance her career. So this kind of thing, this is extremely rare in any case, whether it's in a law firm or elsewhere. It's extremely rare to get your hands on the diary notes of somebody as they talk themselves through how they're going to set somebody up for, some sort of false accusation, or, women actually planning out how they're going to manipulate a man to advance their career. And that is what happened in this case. So let's have a look. Law firm DLA Piper says sex assault probe reveals accuser's flirtation. The woman in question is Vanina Guerrero, and she's alleging 4 assaults against somebody who, I don't know, his name's Louis Lahotte. It can't be Louis Lahotte. Anyways, he denies all of the accusations. And as it turns out, the company is now saying Ms. Guerrero was a willing participant in a lengthy emotional flirtation with Mr. Lahotte that she orchestrated to advance her career. DLA Piper said in a letter to the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, citing Guerrero's emails. Now, she actually sent sort of confessional emails to herself in the stream of consciousness style on November 10th of 2018. And the most that's been released, although I hope we get the entirety of it, is Louis. This man will help me. Control him. Friendship without anything. It allows his energy to rise. Yes, he is in love. Canalize, whatever that means. Cannibalize? I don't know what she meant. Canalize the energy. Get me to where I need. Professionally. Abundance. Libertard. Libertad? I think she meant libertard. Don't open up to him. Leverage it for me. Hugs. Make me universal. So this is the kind of thing that happens in some people's minds as they orchestrate these sequences of events, which they then go to places like Time's Up Fund, legal fund, to help them litigate their cases. And most of the time, you'll never see that little diary because most people aren't crazy enough to put it in writing and email it to themselves under their actual account at the law firm that they're accusing of abuse. So this is great, and it's so rare to get this kind of thing. It's so exciting. Can you see how excited I am? But in the meantime, I've also, over the last month, been talking to another lawyer. His name's Don Lewis. And it's a fantastic case. It's actually like the biggest soap opera going on between Harvard lawyers right now. There's a big law firm called Pierce Bainbridge. I'll just call it PB or whatever. Like, there's a bunch of partners in this, but it's best to just keep the name simple. Pierce Bainbridge. And Don Lewis had actually found out that Pierce was misusing funds, that he was engaging in some sort of a fraudulent funding of litigation where they get outside investors to contribute funds, saying that they're going to make, they have a case, they said they were going to get $1 billion out of it. In the end, zero. They got nothing. But he keeps getting investors to fund the litigation, and then allegedly Pierce was using these funds to pay alimony and using it as a personal bank account. And all these partners he was bringing in had no idea that this entire grand new way of doing law and litigating was completely fraud. So, of course, Pierce is saying that this is nonsense, that none of this is true. But unfortunately for him, a bunch of news is coming out showing that what Don Lewis is alleging is completely true. But when Lewis threatened Pierce and said, I'm going to expose you for what's going on in your law firm, that all of a sudden they said, well, you're fired overnight, immediately. You're cut off from your own emails, you're fired. And they alleged that he had sexually assaulted somebody in the workplace. And the allegation that was alleged, it's so insane but as I said, this is kind of like a soap opera that's playing out in rapid fire, because like lawyers, as slow as they might be in filing stuff in their clients' cases, when it's them being affected by it, it's rapid fire. So these are lawsuits going on in LA and in New York because they're trying to split attention, and they're trying to make the litigation as complicated as possible in order to get away with, I'm going to say PV, in order to get away with. All of the evidence coming out shows that Don Lewis is correct. And as I said, I have been talking to Don Lewis for the last month, and he sent me so many things. And I'm really good at following case law and being able to understand and parse what's being said in legalese. But he's had to simplify his case more and more because it's getting so complicated. But the reality is that this is definitely a case where a law firm was engaging in potentially fraudulent funding for litigation. And as soon as they got threatened, the guy who challenged them is being accused, and he says, and I believe falsely accused, of sexual assault. So I'm really interested. I'm going to try and parse this all for you, and I'm going to try and put it together. It may take more than one video because it is, like I said, a soap opera, like a John Grisham novel. But in the meantime, this case with this accuser at the other law firm now, where she's literally sent notes to self talking about how she's going to set this guy up and use a man in the workplace, use him to advance her own career. It's great. And I have to wonder, at what point are women going to be held accountable for their own agency in how these workplace relationships take place? So more to come soon, and I'm sorry if I look really gleeful, but it really is hard to get this kind of confession, this kind of information on email evidence, and I really want to see. I mean, if you're going to do it, you really shouldn't do that against people who are lawyers. So I'm going to be watching how this plays out. Take care, everyone. Stay safe.